Warning! This episode of Fanatic Fiction contains massive spoilers for the story moving on. If you have not read the story, click the link provided below and go ahead and read it. If you have, please listen and enjoy my horrible accent.
Yeah, you always need to have something special, don't you?
No, I really don't. I really don't.
Well, you always do, though.
I got a cookie! My life is happy right now. Sorry, my sister ran in and gave me a cookie. My heart is happy.
Oh, I thought you said turkey.
Okay, anyways, hello. I am Mytho and Tragedy. I'm back. Hey, what's up? And we're back for 2013. That's right. New year, new format, new Fanatic Fiction.
Ow.
And, well, just new all around. So, with me, I have the talented artist known as Mytho. Our messed up and crazy AR. And, of course, our resident Canadian.
Hot! But so good.
Where's our resident Canadian? Say hi.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. God damn it.
That's alright, let's just keep going. Anyways, we'll fill in what happens when he comes back. So, the story we read tonight, or recently, is moving on. A simple romance...
Whoa, AR.
What?
You stealing my job?
No.
My first time back, you just stealing my job.
Yes. I did intentionally. Fine, I'll go ahead and finish the cookie. You go ahead and lead on.
Okay, anyways, Lightning, or M-Dubs, will be back with us momentarily. He seems to have come across a glitch.
You mean the internet?
The story we read is moving on. It is a, I don't know, can you call it romance in between?
It is really romance and slice of life sort of story.
It's Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo, and it's about them, like, moving on from childhood and actually, like, becoming adults. It's a coming-of-age story, really, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not entire. I mean, it's not M-rated, but then again, it's not like innocent.
No, it's teen-rated for good reason.
Yeah, lots of innuendo and suggestive themes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the new way of doing things. AR, you want to head us off?
It's not too new, but okay. So basically, by new things, he's going over. BT's talking about how I just take this basic synopsis story, tell that, then we just discuss what we think about the story. His way, we had it so that we would talk about the story in depth, the entire story, and then we would talk about it. So I took that and shrunk it down to make it so we record in less time.
My way is better.
Clearly.
My precious.
Well, it depends what you guys are looking for. Comment below what you think about the different ways. You, of course, know BT's way from the earlier episodes. My way is like, I don't know, it's like postmodernism, I guess we'll say it is. But anyway, well, no, wait.
So we go, it's either BT's way or the wrong way. You decide.
You decide, here, on Iron Chef. No, okay. But, so, in the story, what happens is, you start off the story with Scootaloo, Sweetie Belle, wrong character completely, doing some things. Which it's, in a sense, it seems like a dream at first, sort of thing when you're reading it. But, she's pleasing herself, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And you commit your response. Anyway.
It's about as far as I got.
Anyway, Rarity's going to come in and interrupt that, but you get the idea that Sweetie Belle and Rarity, they're starting to grow apart a little bit with their conversation in the beginning. You can tell that the years haven't been too kind to them. They still love each other, but they're just growing apart a bit and having a bit more bickering between their conversations, and Sweetie Belle's back-talking in her head about Rarity. Also, you pick up that sibling rivalry coming in again. So you start to notice that right away. This is Ponyville in the future. The Cutie Mark Crusaders is actually still going on. Of course, without Sweetie Belle and the other two. It is now run by some other fillies. I don't think they named them, correct?
No, it did not.
It's got Colts, too, I think, now.
It does. And so, let's see. BT, carry on with basic synopsis.
Alright, basic synopsis. Basically, yeah, Rarity, I almost said Twilight. Rarity and Sweetie Belle are growing apart, and Sweetie Belle's like, hey, I'm gonna move out. And so, she talks to Scootaloo, not Scootaloo, but yeah, she talks to Scootaloo about moving in with her, and then she's like, oh, you know, my apartment's a mess, and it's not very big, and she's like, oh, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
They move in together, and it goes through stuff like Sweetie Belle's actually being schooled in magic by Twilight.
Which I found pretty interesting, actually, but we'll cover that when we talk about the story itself. Also,
and Twilight is now Twilight is now the Archmage of Canterlot. Like,
I didn't know they had an archmage. But
Cool.
God damn it.
oh, welcome
Oh,
back.
hey, look. Okay,
Dub in the house.
Yes.
Ben Dubs in the house, our resident
Yeah.
Canadian. Woohoo!
Also,
I am not Canadian. I don't know what you're talking about. This is not, no.
Also, a quick thing. Sweet Belle and Scootaloo are in a relationship, as stated on early in the story. I'm going to close my laptop real quick. Actually, no, I'm not. Anywho, I was going to do something on my laptop real quick. But, yes, Lightning. We have carried on to Sweet Belle moving into Scootaloo's apartment and wanting to get away from Rarity for the most part, and then bonding. Carry on with basic synopsis from the apartment to Twilight.
Now, when you say
Well,
when you say
okay.
bonding,
It's funny because the chapters in this story are kind of separate. At least the first one is. You know, after the first chapter, it kind of jumps a little bit ahead, and all of a sudden, you realize that Sweetie Belle is not only being taught by Twilight, but is now Twilight's apprentice, and they're doing this combat training, which I think is kind of interesting. Not something that you'd usually see or think of Sweetie Belle as, you know, a
Combat specialist Sweetie Belle reporting for duty.
I think there's a fanfic about that.
So they go through this combat training, and eventually it ends up with them ending their training, and Applejack ends up getting hit by one of the landmines that Twilight forgot to deactivate.
Destruction
yeah.
mines, clever.
Oh, okay.
Mytho, oh, okay.
Of course, then again, I mean, you know, she's fine, you know, being that it's Applejack. You know,
Alright.
she's...
Of course, you know, just a landmine.
Oh, it's fine. It's a landmine.
What are you, a pansy?
All right, and so then they Sweetie Belle basically leaves a note for Scootaloo at their new apartment. I'm skipping
Well,
ahead
yeah,
stuff 'cause-
she rushes home because she has something planned, apparently.
Oh,
And,
why? Sorry.
So she's able to teleport home.
Did he just die again?
Possibly. No?
No?
That doesn't show him dead.
Okay, anyways,
He just cut off
Just
randomly.
he could just be a little bit rigor mortis right now. We'll wait.
Sweetie,
What? Anyways, yeah, Sweetie Belle gets a...
Sweet-
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, she teleported home, and she's like, she cleans up a bit, and she leaves a note for Scootaloo. Scootaloo gets home, she thinks somebody's in the house, looks around, nothing. Looks in the note, it's like, meet me at the old CMC clubhouse in Sweet Apple Acres.
Now he's dead.
And they go, so they go there, and what do you know? Well, Sweetie Belle goes there first, and who's waiting there for her? None
Me.
other than Apple Bloom, who has been gone for 6 months because she went to Manhattan to, like, I guess, find herself.
Twist.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
Plot twist.
And by find herself, I mean, no, I'm kidding.
You can't find yourself.
If you know
I
what I
really
mean.
mean. No.
Find it.
If you know what I mean.
If you know what I mean. But anyways, yes. So the three unite and have been talking, well, mostly Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom have been talking a lot, catching up. Mostly Apple Bloom asking Sweetie Belle a question, which I must, quick thing for me, when they were switching who was talking and who was thinking was a bit confusing at first.
That threw me off.
That-
Yeah.
That did throw me off, but we'll go back to that when we start talking a bit more about the story itself. Choked on saliva. Lovely. So, after they start talking, Scootaloo comes and they start talking again. They go back to the clubhouse and they actually do a pastime favorite, wrestle. And then things get sensational, and then we move on.
Things get sexy.
Wait, what?
Steamy.
Yes, you could say that. Anyways, the thing I kind of liked in the chapter was you hear a loud crash of glass, and they look out the window and see a chair flew out of the window, correct?
Yes.
Yes. I will say that caught my attention, so I, instead of just sort of skimming through it, I started actually reading it in more detail. I lost interest a bit. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to start skimming. Which
I
I,
don't blame you.
yeah. But, anyway. Chapter 4 comes along, and then you covers the brief shattering of the glass coming through the window. Apparently, they had reached it so quickly that the chair was still flying through the air with glass flying at them, and so Sweetie Belle had to put a barrier up. Unless they were walking away from the CMC clubhouse during that. I think they were inside, though, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, no, they were in the house and they heard something from the house and they were in the clubhouse. They went to the house and as soon as they got there, a chair flew through the window.
That explains it.
And then Sweetie threw up the barrier and
Yep.
it burned the glass and cut the chair in two.
Yeah. And so what it basically was Applejack and Rainbow Dash were arguing, so I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, I was hoping for something a bit more epic. Anyway, skimming on. They basically in a heated argument, and Apple Bloom and... No, I don't, Kayla. Run away. Run away. Run away. I'm recording. I don't have the cat. Run away. Okay. So, after my sister interrupts me, we have Apple Bloom and Scootaloo trying to interrupt Applejack and Rainbow Dash. And they're bickering, and they're trying to stop it. So, Sweet Belle yells, stop it.
It's a little bit more than bickering, actually.
Well, yeah. They're fighting.
They're all out, like, Rainbow Dash called Applejack.
By the way, people, Lightning's back. So, after a bit more heated discussions and yelling, Sweetie Belle teleports them to the cow pond behind the house. Now, for those of you who don't exactly know what a cow pond is...
For those of you who aren't from rural areas.
Yes, like me. California, very rural. But, actually, we do have...
California.
Actually, California has a lot of rural areas. Anyway, it's basically a giant pile of waste from cows, pigs, and various animals. That's all it is, a pool of waste. Just sitting there. Imagine all the methane you can get from them fuel cars and so. Anyways, so the three realize the two are going to be extremely mad with them. So they run, and then they activate evacuation plan number 12, or hiding spot 12, I should say, is where they're going to head. They have a list of 18 hiding spots to go to. They hide there, get away, and then it's just, them hanging out at night with some cider and just bonding again, and that's all it really ends off with.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, bond. Now, if you mean bondage, I mean, I can understand that. It's not bonding.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
Well, to put it,
doing a lot of bonding,
are
they?
Story, this fanfic is not a clapfic by any sense of the term.
No.
That's just because they cut out all the good parts.
And lightnings.
They're just like, okay, now pan over to the fireplace.
And pan over to the fireplace.
Lots of interesting stuff going on over there.
Lots of interesting stuff going on in the fireplace. Yes.
So can we move on to specific parts we like? Because I got one right on my mind.
For me, I did like the whole getting to be apprentice with Twilight Sparkle. I love that aspect of the story. Because it's probably the more than interesting part of the story for me. I'm not a big romance reading kind of person, depending on kind of story. I'm not a big MLP shipping fan, personally. I don't know why. I'm just not. Aren't. Where'd I get?
Oh, man. You're best friends with Delta. I think you're friends with the wrong person.
I probably am. I probably should have figured that 2 years ago. But anywho. But yeah, it would be the whole Twilight Sparkle and apprenticeship thing and the combat magic, and also the bickering with Rarity. I did like to see the development of their relationship through the story, because that is a very vital thing in the MLP series, is Sweetie Belle and Rarity's relationship. It's always been a big thing. You look at a recent episode, Sleepless in Ponyville. Look at the relationship they had there. And now...
What, Sweetie Belle being a pack mule?
Yeah. No, but it's more of just Sweetie Belle loving her sister and just wanting to spend time with her. And later on, as this story has developed in their, what is it? I don't know, with their little universe they created for this story, you see, in some ways, a little bit of a flip of that, because Rarity is very concerned for her sister. You get that because she's, it sounds like nagging, with her saying, oh, you're not ladylike, doing this, doing that, but she's still concerned and caring for her Sweetie Belle, whereas Sweetie Belle is not really caring. She wants to live her own life now. So I did like to see that transition.
Alright, here's my thought. One, I love romance stories. I love shipping. That might be weird coming from me, knowing who I am.
This is true.
I love whenever people are in love. It's just so... I love it. I write all about it all the time. I write about feelings and everything.
Whatever happened to the Deltar story you were writing?
I didn't finish it. Anyways, onwards.
On to another subject.
I really like the idea. They brought this up at the end of the story. Herd. They talked about it at the end of the story because Scootaloo asked Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom, like, "Are you guys saying you want to be a herd?" And it's basically polygamy in short.
Really?
And I mean,
what?
And I mean, they brought this up in another story I love called "The Fool in the Basket." They brought it up, and I like the concept. I don't know if that's saying something about my character as a person.
Well, it is.
I love the concept.
I'm joking, but
Anywho, I love that. And two, one of the parts that made me laugh like there was no other was whenever Sweetie Belle was explaining how she told Rarity that she was going to leave, and like she was going to live with Scooby-Doo and how Scooby-Doo learned her item, and Rarity was like, whenever two mares love each other very much, and then Sweetie Belle yelled at how many orgasms Scooby-Doo gave her that morning. That made me laugh for like 5 minutes.
yeah.
I'm not gonna. That got me, and as you all know, I do not like Twilight. I am not a fan of Twilight, but Twilight in this story I liked her, one because they're minimal, and two I like how she's portrayed.
Because minimal.
Which is very fair.
But yes.
Hey, listen, if Twilight's not even in a story, I like her more.
This is true.
So
for those of you fic writers out there, know that he doesn't like Twilight if you want to please him. Which, by the way, good luck pleasing him in general anyways, without having Twilight in the story.
You know what? just write a good story that has to do with like real emotions or something philosophical too.
Write a Soren Dash fic.
Actually, no, I'm sick and tired of reading or writing Soren Dash. I wrote and read it so much, I'm so tired of it. Don't do that. I'll blow my brains out.
Yay!
Please, God, no.
Right.
Anyway, there was an underlying theme that definitely caught me. And
Don't just love each other?
Moving on. It's moving on.
No. It has nothing to do with the shipping aspect of the fic at all. What I thought was really interesting is that this is supposed to be 4 years after after the present.
That's not a long
time
in the future.
They all have their cutie marks and everything like that. But the fact that the Cutie Mark Crusaders is a not just the three of them, but instead more of an organization where it's carried on by the newer generation. That's really cool. And something that they've hinted at in the show as well, because now they're getting branches in other cities like Manhattan and whatever.
Yes, the Cutie Mark Crusaders are now franchised.
I know, right?
Yes,
and that's why I would love the idea of having a Manhattan episode based around the CMC there. I would love that personally. They get a whole new aspect.
I don't think they'll ever have an episode.
I don't either, but I would love it.
Some of the main characters, though.
Yeah, I would love it though.
Because it would be entirely revolved around Bab's seed, and I don't think they'd ever do a show like that.
Yeah.
It's like them having an episode that's revolved around a background character like Lyra.
And
like
BT is now singing one of his favorite songs.
I love that
It's
song,
a good song. I have to admit
song.
that. It's a good
but
song.
I prefer Raise This Barn better because together we can raise this
Raisin Barn. It's a raisin barn.
No, it's a raisin
No,
barn.
I say
Together
raisin barn, raisin barn. 1, 2, 3, 4 gives it runs and other
racist.
things. Raisin barns.
It's totally racist.
Raisins.
It's racist.
Raisin brand. Right. Anywho, let's go back to the story. We're getting a tad sidetracked.
Vectors,
Just a little bit.
tangents.
What were some interesting elements in the story that you liked compared to other stories? Like, with me, like the thinking aspect and switching the characters' thoughts. I liked it in concept, but at points it did get a bit confusing.
Right. I mean, right away when it changed, like when Sweetie Belle met up with Apple Bloom, automatically it changed to Apple Bloom's perspective, and it took me a couple lines to figure out. Oh wait, now it's Apple Bloom saying this instead. So that could have been done a little bit better. It was a little bit confusing for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So, but if you're like me and just kind of skimming through it, you'll get a bit confused. So I'm reading it, I'm like, it says I, but then it says I am. I'm like, what? So I got a bit confused when reading it, and then I realized, I'm like, oh, skimming doesn't help, even though yes, that's me.
You're ridiculous.
No, I'm
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
And, let's see, you're ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Whatever it is.
Pudding.
Okay, one of the things I liked about the story,
I want another cookie.
It wasn't a perspective, because rarely do I like first person or write in first person. But I prefer third person, limited or omniscient, I guess we'll do.
It is limited.
Not the point. Sort of.
It depends on the kind of story you have with first and third person. It really depends on what kind of story you're going for. If you're going for like an emotional sort of journey-taking story, first person will really suit it. If you're going for like an adventure that's actiony, third person always tends to be the best.
I superbly liked just the tone the author gave it, not necessarily. The way the author wrote it was superb. It just kept me hooked in. And once again, I'm a sap for romance. So
He
that's not
really
saying
is.
much. I cry in a lot of things.
Up.
Manly
Well, it
tears
was
of
kinda
joy.
weird. The pace really changed.
It
I mean,
did
at the very
really
beginning,
change. I
you got-
noticed that.
You get the romance story, and then all the way up until the point where all three of them are together in the clubhouse. It has a very distinct feel to it, and then all of a sudden, bam, Scoots gets this bad feeling, and they go and confront AJ and Rainbow Dash,
The
and
drunk Rainbow Dash is great.
and
It's like a drunk BT.
It gets yeah.
You
exactly.
agreed with me. It's like a drunk PT. Yeah.
I do pick fights.
Rainbow Dash is drunk, which is kind of a interesting take that they take, a more serious tone that this story takes on.
Drunkenness is not good, children. Don't drink or drive,
And so,
especially if you don't have your
Unless
license.
you're legal of age and really depressed, then drink a lot.
really took me by surprise that this story would take on a more serious, dark tone to it. At this point in the story,
I don't know about dark tone, but
it could have been darker.
It could have been
I mean,
darker, but
it's lucky that Sweetie Belle diffused the situation by throwing them in the cow.
yeah, but it wasn't
How-
necessarily dark overall. It
could have been.
It could have been darker, but this whole story is still focused on Sweetie Belle and her relationships with her friends. And that is
Right.
really what it's focused on, not just Applejack and Rainbow Dash, because they didn't get mentioned until the
Not
end of the
Rainbow
story, really. I'm not a big Apple Dash fan. But,
Well,
You're talking to the number one fan, right?
I know, right? Hey, doesn't
Anyway.
the number one fan doesn't mean anything to me.
Another
It's-
thing that interests me in a story like this is, again, this is supposed to be 4 years in the future.
Kevin.
It's interesting to see what they do with the different characters, like what their lives are like. It's very quickly mentioned, but I mean, they say that Dash is a Wonderbolt by now.
Told you.
Scootaloo is in some kind of. Does she do training with Rainbow Dash? or
I
is
don't
she
think it's
training
specified.
somewhere- Oh,
She's just doing advanced.
Yeah,
training.
it's not
okay.
specified.
So it's other training, and I'm not 100% sure what all the other Cutie Mark Crusaders are doing. I mean, obviously, Sweetie Belle's got a.
They mention all three, dude.
Huh?
They mention all three team.
Apple Bloom, it's really not defined what she does, though.
She went off to Manhattan to find.
Yeah, I understand that,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's not defined what her talent is or what she does.
No, it's to get away from the family, like Applejack.
Yeah,
Right.
Did we lose? Oh, I thought we lost.
I know. I was about to ask, did we lose Lightning again? But
I've said this before in a previous podcast. I can't remember which one, but I do love the concept of Drunk Rainbow Dash. It makes sense for her character.
just don't have a drunk
Well,
AR.
after the cider episode, I mean, that's kind of what they've been going off of.
I guess, but I mean, it just makes sense for her character because she can never seem to achieve her dreams. So what better for somebody like that? But
Well,
to
there was
take
episode
to the
7. She
bottle.
did achieve her dreams. Well, in some
Sort
ways. They'll probably be fulfilled later on, but yeah. She has a great job, though. Just fly around all day, move a couple clouds, and then do whatever. She has a great job, honestly.
Well, now she's the Wonderbolt, though.
Yeah. But still, overall, Rainbow Dash has a pretty decent job. Fluttershy does nothing. I still don't understand how she lives off of any kind of bits she gets. Maybe babysitting animals, but Pinkie Pie just feeds off the cakes. Twilight.
I mean, hey, haven't you read any of the stories? She's a forest ranger. Fluttershy.
Pokemon Ranger Fluttershy?
Only you can prevent flutter
You
fires.
can prevent flutter fires. What?
Oh, God.
Alright, we're a bit sidetracked. Overall, that's our basic ideas of the story. Is there anything else we want to mention before ending this off?
We're back, bitches.
Well, you're kind.
That's about it.
You're kind to the few fans we have.
Yes, I am. I despise you all. Thank you for watching.
I would say I feel sorry for each and every one of you, but that's stealing from my other channel, so I laugh at each and every one of you for watching us. That's my new line. Anyways.
As long as you don't start talking about land children.
Yes! I remember that.
Did you end it,
Yes.
AR? Oh, okay.
I haven't ended it yet. I'd just like to say M-Dubs is best
I
Canadian
know,
DJ.
right? All right, so
Yes.
BT, what are your thoughts
What
on
else
the
is
overall
best in it?
story?
Excuse me?
Just overall thoughts on the story and what you'd rate it.
Jeez, I would rate it a solid 8. There's good, had some minor hiccups.
Lightning?
Yeah, we're on the same 8.5. I'd probably give it. I like the pairings that they have in this. All like 3 of them. Anyway,
I have one
Yeah.
more thing to say. Luna sucks.
You're kind.
Thank you.
He's gone.
no,
You're an
So
awful
I didn't
person.
even give my review yet, or Mytho didn't give his. He didn't even state all the colors he was supposed to state.
I would, fuchsia. Anyway, I would like to say that, given that I did not read the story, I can give it a solid potato.
Out of
very nice.
A solid tater out of
Ooh,
French fries.
nice. I'd probably give it a 7 because I'm not a personal fan of shipping kind of stories. Yeah, I know, right? But the only 3 docs for the kind of story was, but that doesn't mean it's a bad story because it's very well written. It does a great job capturing emotion. Mental thoughts were really well written. They were funny on occasion. They were witty. They really captured the characters very well. The overall story arc is very, cohesive. It works well with the series itself, and it makes sense, and it fills in some holes here and there. I hit my microphone. But it's a very well-written story. I suggest you go read it. I don't like it personally, but that does not stop me from telling you to go read it, because it's a very well-done story, and it's a good story at that.
And next week, anthropology. We're
Wait,
doing
what?
I swear this
What?
time.
What?
You heard it here,
You
folks.
expect me to
Next week,
read that?
anthropology.
How long is it?
I read it in a weekend, AR.
130,000
I can read it in a
words.
weekend. Doesn't mean I want to. I'm a
Well,
fast
do it. You
reader,
have 5
and I
you have-
can read it in a
You have, like,
weekend, but I'm not going to.
You
I
have
could
like
probably
7
read
days.
it.
Come on,
I
AR.
could probably read it in like a month.
Come on, AR. You have 7
Yeah,
days.
but I have school 2 of those days, and they're both they are 8 hours long because of my stupid 4 classes.
Whatever. I got school 5
Yeah, I
of
have
those
projects
days.
now.
Oh. Get faced.
Right. All right. So I believe we're going to end this off. This has been Fanatic Fiction, and I have been R.
Yar.
I have been Lightning 2.0.
No. That's me.
And I'm Mytho.
No, you're N-Dubs. You're N-Dubs, our Canadian correspondent.
I'm Mr.
What?
Potato Head.
And we have been Fanatic Fiction, and we will see you next